What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog here with another New York Giants video. I almost forgot my name there at the beginning of the video. Do me a favor, guys and girls, hit the thumbs up because it always helps out the video huge. Hit the subscribe, ring the bell. As always, I do appreciate you taking time to click on the video and to listen to what I have to say when it comes to our horrendous New York Giants. Obviously, yesterday just wasn't good enough. You know, we battled. It just wasn't good enough. We've heard this song and dance from Brian Dable all season, and all season hasn't been good enough, and not good enough is an understatement. I mean, it's just embarrassing at this point. It is so embarrassing. I broke out the paper bag in my post-game video yesterday, and I hadn't broken that out in a couple of years, not since the Joe Judge days, but I felt like it was apropos for the performance that they gave yesterday. There's been a lot of things that have gone wrong for the Giants this season. Obviously, dealt with a lot of injuries. You know, number one to their quarterback, their left tackle, their running backs, the three most important people on their offense. They've lost for an extended period of time this year. Obviously, that wasn't a good thing. You don't want to lose anybody like that anywhere. But injuries happen. It's part of football. You got to learn to overcome it. Not only have the Giants not overcome it, they haven't even been competitive at all. I mean, the last two games they've gotten outscored 79-23. I mean, it's not close. And I think somebody put on Twitter today that the Giants have been outscored by like 159 points. And that's like 30, we're 32nd in the league in that. And we're like 50 points or something behind the next closest next closest team to us. That's how bad it's been. The Giants, for whatever reason, just have this losing culture. And I really don't know where this starts. And we can blame Dable, which he deserves plenty of blame. Trust me when I tell you he deserves plenty of blame. You can blame Joe Shane. He deserves part of it too. You can blame Brandon Brown. All the people I gave praise to last year, they deserve a big part of the blame this year. No question. But this has happened for years. We've had 3 GMs here since 2017. Results have been bad most of the time. We've had 4 head coaches. 5 head coaches since McAdoo, Shermer, 4 head coaches since 2017. And the results have sucked. Tons of players have gone through here. We've spent lots of draft capital addressing the offensive line, still hasn't been fixed. And yet this team just continues to embarrass itself week after week. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Every single time you think the Giants have hit rock bottom, they find another rock farther down than the one that they're on presently. Giving up 49 points and 616 yards at the Dallas Cowboys is inexcusable, especially when there's no major injuries on the defensive side of the football. To me, it would say that maybe they quit. Maybe they're not giving 100% effort. I don't know, and I don't ever want to come on here and say for sure that a player's dogging it because I can't say that. But when you look at the month previous to how well the defense had played, and then they kind of lost that game to the Jets where they gave up those 2 big plays and gave up the game-tying field goal and eventually lost in overtime. To give up 30 points to a Raiders team that hadn't scored 21 in any game all season with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, and I know they just beat the Jets last night, and I'm not taking anything away from the Raiders, but come on, man, 30 points, and they gave up 24 at halftime? I mean, that's ridiculous. The Giants gave up 368 yards at the half to the Cowboys and over 600 yards in the game. They gave up 49 points. It's just not competitive. It's not professional. It's horrible. It's horrendous. Putrid, disgusting, disgrace, whatever word you want to use. It's just bad, okay? You can break out a thesaurus and use every single synonym for the word bad or horrible or whatever you want to describe the Giants because that's what it is. My problem with this team, outside of the embarrassing losing that they do every week, is the attitude. And I don't want to fire Brian Dable. I've been on record saying this. I'm not ready to get rid of Dable. He's had a really shitty season. And I understand why fans want to get rid of him. My problem is McAdoo was here for 2 years. Sherman was here for 2 years. Judge was here for 2 years. Dable's been here for 2 years. We're going to keep firing head coaches. And usually when you fire the head coach, the GM needs to go with him. And I'm not ready to give up on these guys quite yet. I want to get the Gettleman guys out of here. It looks like the Giants are probably going to get a quarterback, and this is going to be Dable and Shane's guy, and then we're going to have to see where they go. I'm not ready to get rid of these guys. Not yet. I got to give him a couple years. I gave Gettleman 4 years, and I got to give Shane 4 years. And Shane handpicked Dable. If he fired him, he'd be saying, I failed. My choice for head coach failed. My problem with Dable is I feel like he's losing the team. The non-professional aspects of the Giants cannot be overlooked. And I scream about this during a lot of live streams. I get sick and tired of the dancing and celebrating when you're getting your ass kicked. I don't know what you have to dance or celebrate about. You're down 28-0. Lawrence Cager scores a touchdown and dances. Why? What are you dancing for? What are you celebrating? Giants are out there talking shit to the Cowboys receivers. Like, what could you possibly be saying to them? What could you possibly have to say to them when they beat your ass 40-0 week 1, have beaten your ass 4 years in a row now, okay? Or whatever the hell it was. I know we won the last game in 2020, but 6 games in a row. They've kicked our ass. They have embarrassed us. And they were getting embarrassed. What are you talking? What are you saying? Shut up. You get a tackle. I forgot who it was. Got a big tackle on, or not even a big tackle, just tackled on special teams. Got up and did one of these. What? Are you kidding me? And then Darnay Holmes, who's gotten toasted all year, benched, embarrassed, humiliated, intercepts a pass from Cooper Rush in a game that is already decided, runs in the end zone to celebrate. The New York Giants are a look at me first team. They're individuals. This is not a team. This is look at me, I made a play. Look at me, I made a play. It's your job. It's your job to make plays. If you're winning last year, if you're 7-2 and you're in this game against Dallas and you come up with a big play, celebrate. Celebrate it up. I'll be honest. I didn't really care that Cager danced because I couldn't believe he scored a touchdown. And the offense is so shitty that no matter what the score is, I feel like they should celebrate when they score. Let's be honest. It's terrible, but it's a bad look. It's a really bad look for a professional football team who gets its ass kicked week in and week out, and it's not competitive. You are getting rocked in these games. And you're celebrating a special teams tackle? Celebrating an interception down by 5 touchdowns? Make it make sense. Who is to blame for this? You got Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton going at it on the sideline. And the Giants were hell-bent on getting Sterling Shepard that touchdown at the end of the game. I don't know what that was about. I listened to Mike Francesa's podcast. He made a great point because during the game, I'm sitting there saying, why are we taking timeouts? Why just run the clock out? Just run the clock, please. Get this over with. They use all their timeouts. They take 12 plays. They throw about 6 passes to Sterling Shepard to try to get him a touchdown. What for? What was the point? 49-10, 49-17. The game is already decided. You got your ass kicked. This ain't going to give you all of a sudden, some spark of momentum. Just like when Dable said at the beginning of the year when he left Daniel Jones out there, I was just trying to get some momentum going to the next game. Well, it's bullshit, coach. It's bullshit because why were the backups in there with Daniel Jones? And if you lost 40-7 as opposed to 40-0, what's the difference? And when we had Carl Banks on the show, he made a great point. Perhaps that destroyed Daniel Jones' confidence. Because it's one thing that I have harped on since Jones came here was that I felt like his confidence was lacking and he didn't have faith in himself. He didn't have faith in his teammates. I felt like he had that last year. I felt like he was a confident quarterback. I felt like he could do it. I felt like that was a guy that believed in his teammates and believed in himself. And sure, he didn't put up these fantastic Hall of Fame numbers, but the man won games, man. The man did what he could do. He did everything they asked him to do, and he played with conviction. This year, it wasn't there, ever. And when you have no confidence in yourself, I've said this a million times too, I don't care what you're doing. You could be in the gym, you could be at school, you could be doing your job. If you don't have confidence in what you're doing, you're not going to do it well. Daniel Jones obviously didn't have any confidence. Brian Daboll, I mean, I'm not going to get into a guy for being tough on his players. You know, I understand that. I'm an old school guy. I grew up with Bill Parcells. He was as tough as anybody on his players. They won football games, so that's a difference. That's a difference. Coughlin was tough on the players. You know, Mike Ditka was tough on his players. Those guys won. You know, that's a difference. Joe Judge was tough on the players, but didn't win anything. That's kind of where Brian Daboll is right now. Like, you know, Tommy DeVito throws an interception because it's Tommy DeVito. He don't have an NFL arm. He's a nice story, but there's no way Tommy DeVito should be starting an NFL football game against the Dallas Cowboys in the middle of November. He threw an interception. You ought to throw Jalen Hyatt. I think Jalen Hyatt is going to be really good. I really do. I think if we get a quarterback that can get him the ball, I think we got something there. He ought to throw him. It was an interception. Brian Daboll just looks at him. What do you want from him? You know, what do you want from them? These guys are, you know, McKinney's calling out the coaches and the GM, the 10 captains on the team are saying we don't agree with that. Why do we have 10 captains? Isn't that overkill? 20% of your team is a captain. Doesn't that water down the meaning of being a captain? They don't agree with him. You know, now Dexter Lawrence, he ducked the media and everybody's mad at Dexter Lawrence. And you got to stand there and be professional, Art Stapleton said. Well, Art, I mean, he had family as his birthday. I mean, if it becomes a pattern where they avoid the media, I get the point. But has Dexter Lawrence ever avoided the media? Ever avoided questions? I don't know, because I really don't pay much attention to that stuff. You know, I don't really pay attention who has disregarded the media because I don't see all the questions that are asked to every player. But regardless, there's just something going on with this team. It is a losing culture. Losing players, losing teams celebrate when they're getting their ass kicked. There is nothing to celebrate here. There is nothing to be proud of here. There's nothing to build on here. Okay? Start winning football games. Start trying harder. Start producing on the field. Start competing. Start being professionals. Because what the hell I've seen out there the last two games, Tommy DeVito or no Tommy DeVito, the defense has been atrocious. It is like they have just quit. And watching Brian Daboll give these press conferences, that man's checked out. That man checked out a long time ago. Next year, this needs a change. It doesn't mean it's going to be better, but things are going to change. There's going to be coaches fired. I don't think Daboll gets fired. I don't want Daboll fired. I don't even want Wink Martindale fired. I know his defense has been bad, but I don't want him fired either. Kafka's going to go. Bobby Johnson and you know, T-Mac, they got to go. You got to do something here. Things got to change. You're probably going to get a quarterback in the draft. Like I said, things are going to be different. It doesn't make them better. This is the Giants. I mean, we've been changing things around here for the last decade and nothing. The only thing that hasn't changed is the losing. So I don't know who's responsible for this losing culture. Perhaps it is John Mara. That's really the common denominator the entire decade of losing football here is John Mara. Making the wrong decisions. I don't know how in tune he is with the draft or the player personnel or whatever. I don't know how much he has to deal with it. We don't really know. I really think he has something to do with Daniel Jones coming back, or maybe I'm way off because I don't know for a fact. What I do know is he's been the owner. This has happened under his watch. I think he has to shoulder most of the responsibility, most of the blame for the terrible product that Giants fans have to watch week in and week out. Anyway, that's all I got in this video. If you made it 14 and a half minutes, you're an absolute legend. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time. It's Bad Diggy Dizzle, and I'm out. Peace.